Hello and welcome to this introductory case study in this course, Excellence in Problem Solving. So in this lecture, we will take a look at a case study of building excellence in problem solving skills. Remember the word excellence in problem solving skills. And for that, we have a case study of Charlie Kim, uh, where we will see how, as an individual at Toyota, he developed world class problem solving capabilities for himself. Right. And the whole subject is about building individual excellence in root cause analysis, root cause problem solving, because that is the center of problem solving as you started seeing. And this was done at Toyota Motor Manufacturing, Kentucky. And his own individual focus was to become from an engineer to a master problem solver. So that's the case study. So let's take a look at this case study. So what was the background? What was the challenge of developing problem solvers at Toyota? When Toyota set up its US operations, it found that most engineers were technically sound, but they lacked, Toyota's deep diagnostic thinking principle, the habit of breaking down problems, understanding variations, and getting to the root cause instead of jumping to conclusions. Charlie Kim, the face mask here, a young production engineer, was assigned to a assembly line performance improvement team at Toyota's Georgetown plant, right? And in his first few months were very frustrating. He could spot the issues, but struggled to find what really caused those issues. And his reports were full of effect, not causes, which is what all of us do normally, right? So that was a challenge of developing his own skill. So, what was the learning journey? How did Charlie build his own problem solving capability? Now, Toyota didn't train him by classroom theory, only. Instead, they use a structured mentoring learning process called Hansai for reflection and Kata for practice. And how did Charlie Kim develop his skills? Let's take a look at using this mentoring process. So, first thing is, his Japanese mentor asked him to go to the place, the actual work site, and observe one process for entire day, right? He wasn't allowed to suggest fixes, solutions right away. And his goal was to, see variations when, where, and how the problem occurred, right? And after a week, he realized that he was skipping the most crucial step of understanding the current conditions deeply before thinking of the solutions. And as a result of that week's work, he learned how to observe and get data based understanding of the problem that you're supposed to solve. So, observation and database understanding was the first element of capability that he gained in problem solving excellence. Second thing, the mentor assigned him the, you know, real world uh, issues, right? Small real world issues like conveyor belts stopping intermittently. Each time Charlie had to fill an A3 problem solving sheet, and there he had to write three things. What is the problem? Where, when, and how often does it happen? And why does it happen? Five times he had to ask this question and come back with his observation. When he reached his answer, his mentor would ask, what would he ask? Is this the real root cause? Or is it still a symptom that you have found? And this forced Charlie to go deeper each time. After 2 months, he started naturally thinking in causal chains rather than surfacing the observations only. And as a result of this, Charlie learned to logically do casual and disciplined questioning. So he gained the capability of logical causality and disciplined questioning. So that is the second grain of his excellence in problem solving that he started learning. Then he learned third step, what he did was learning from the reflection, Hanse. Each week, each week, he reviewed his failed analysis, identifying where he had stopped too soon or relied on the assumption instead of evidence. Right? Interesting, isn't it? And he learned that reflecting on how he thought was more powerful than the outcome was. And as a result, he gained metacognition, the awareness of one's own problem solving process. And that's what you also need to do if you want to become excellent in problem solving skills, right? Fourth step was, to keep coaching others and keep winning in small ways. After 6 months, Charlie began teaching newer engineers how to analyze process issues using the A3 method. So remember, A3 method he's been now using for 6 months, not one lecture. The teaching forced him to articulate the reasoning steps and solidify his mental model, right? And his own reports became model for clarity and depth. And as a result of these rigorous working, he gained the capability of transferable problem solving skills and leadership confidence. So, what were the results of this long journey? So, within a year, he led a team that reduced the assembly downtime by 40% through systematic root cause identification because he knew how to identify the root cause. His A3s were used by Toyota Training and Development as examples for internal training. And most importantly, he became known not for solving problems, but for building problem solvers. So that were the results. So why is this case so powerful? So this is not about solving one problem, isn't it? It is about building a mindset and habits that make an individual consistently capable of identifying root causes across any domain. And what all did Charlie do? So, in terms of his mindset, earlier he used to think in terms of fix it fast. He changed it to understand it deeply. And that built the capability of reinforced patience and precision. In terms of skilling, he changed from reacting to diagnosing by practicing A3 and 5 Ys rigorously, and that built this capability. Then, in terms of behavior, he changed from individual brilliance to collaborative inquiry, and that built the capability of by mentoring, coaching, and teaching others. And in terms of learning, in terms of his skill, he learned the systematic learning from ad hoc fixes to documented reasoning. And that was done by creating reusable templates and standards. So that is why this case is so powerful in building the mindset and habit that makes it's for you to consistently capable of identifying root causes across any domain. Right. So what are the key insights on building individual root cause excellence, including your own? First is that skill is built by deliberate practice, not by exposure. Exposure is important, that's a basic necessity. But skilling can only happen by deliberate practice. Repeated small exercise on real problems with feedback create that diagnostic depth. So, skilling, if you want to become excellent in problem solving, you need to practice. Second, mentorship accelerates learning. Being challenged by a coach, like, is that a cause or a symptom, strengthens thinking discipline. Otherwise, you keep doing what you think is right. Reflection builds metacognition. Documenting how you think improves future thinking patterns. And that brings in lasting changes in the way you think. And teaching consolidates mastery. Explaining your reasoning to others, reveal gaps, and cements your understanding. So those are the ways to build your own root cause excellence. So what can we conclude? We can say that problem solving skill is just not simply taught. It is cultivated. It's cultivated through disciplined observation, reflection, and guided questioning. Three things: disciplined observation, reflection, and guiding questioning. And it's cultivation process, like an agricultural farm, right? And Charlie's journey shows that excellence in problem solving is a learnable individual capability built through structure, patience, and the courage to question your own reasoning, right? Make sense? So, what do we do next? So, having done that, let's come back to the basic theory of why does a problem persist or recur and what can you do differently? And then you can start practicing, right? Once you understand the hypothesis, the theoretical background, then the practice is the key thing to take you to the level of a skilled problem solver. So, thank you so much for watching this introductory case study in this course. I hope you're beginning to learn new things, beginning to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please do feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.